Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron. It is the player ratings. Everton 1, Nottingham Forest 1 at Goodison Park. Let's get through these before I lose my voice. I don't know why I'm losing my voice, but it seems to be about as active as Everton's front three at the moment. So let's get straight into these then. Jordan Pickford. I'm going to give Jordan I'm going to give him a 6.5 today. Obviously, he got the assist for Demarai Gray's goal, which was a really nice ball forward. I thought his distribution was a little bit hit and miss today. There were a couple of balls that he just put into areas that were completely wasted. I did feel a little bit sorry for Jordan because there was times when he had the ball at his feet and, he needed to get it out. He needed to get rid of it. The centre-halves had already committed and gone forward and there was just nobody to aim at. There was just nobody up front that looked like they were going to get on the end of it or looked like they had any sort of chance of getting on the end of it. So there was a couple of times when we lashed the ball forward and it just completely went either straight back to Nottingham Forest's goalkeeper or, their defence dealt with it fairly comfortably. And that looks bad on Jordan Pickford then because we're all sitting here saying, why have you just lumped it forward? Why have you wasted that? Have a bit more composure, do a bit better. But reality of the situation is he's got to get rid of the ball in some way and there was nobody that was calling for it. Nobody was offering for it. But ultimately, I think his distribution was quite hit and miss. His ball for Demarai Gray for the goal is absolutely exquisite, by the way. Really good ball. Puts it right on his feet and gives Demarai Gray an absolutely easy chance, which obviously Demarai Gray then finishes. Could he have done a little bit better for the goal? I think there's an argument to be had that it wasn't a good enough effort to have caused him the problems that it did. I think it was a fairly tame effort, to be fair, and he pushed it straight back in to Brennan Johnson's stride. And don't get me wrong, I thought defensively there should have been somebody on Brennan Johnson because he is one of their focal points. He's one of their attacking players, and he's a player that certainly causes issues for teams, and to allow him to run into the box on his own to get onto the rebound of that shot was not good enough. But I do think Jordan could probably have done a little bit better with dealing with that. So I'm going to give him a 6.5. I thought he was okay. The ball is absolutely brilliant, but I don't goalkeeping wise he maybe could have done a little bit better. Vitaly Mykolenko, I'm going to give Vitaly Mykolenko a 7.5. Thought he was solid today. Don't think he did anything particularly unbelievable. I don't think there was anything that you looked at and went, oh my god, he's ripped him apart there. But defensively I thought he was really solid. He dealt with everything he needed to. He ultimately, I think his level dropped a little bit last week, and I don't think he was particularly awful last week, but I just think his level dropped a little bit last week. Whereas today he was back to his usual self. I thought he was fantastic, dealt with everything he needed to, got back and defended obviously really well, but also when he was getting forward, he was winning the ball back, he was holding it up well, his passing was relatively good. I thought he was really solid today, Vitaly Mykolenko, so he is getting a 7.5. Into the defence then, James Tarkowski. I'm going to give James Tarkowski a 5 today. I don't think he was very good whatsoever. I think there was a couple of times when Brennan Johnson really got the better of him, and gave him a really difficult afternoon. He was okay. As I said, defensively he was relatively okay. He put himself about. He won the ball back a couple of times. He made a couple of good sort of recoveries as well. But I think for his standard and for the expectation that he puts on himself and now Evertonians put on him, I don't think he was particularly great today. As I said, I think there was a couple of times when he gifted them opportunities. I said it in the instant match reaction, I'll say it again here. I don't think either team had an opportunity that wasn't gifted to them by the opposition, and there was a couple that were gifted to Nottingham Forest through James Tarkowski either not being where he should have been or making silly mistakes. And as I said, he's better than that. He's better than that Tarkowski, but I don't think he was particularly great today. Connor Cody, I'm going to give him a 6.5. In fact, no, I'll give him a 7. I thought he was decent today. Thought he dealt with everything that he needed to. I thought he worked hard. I thought he put his head in the way in dangerous areas. I thought he covered himself well in his one-on-one battles. I thought he done relatively well. The goal, Again, you could point the finger at any of the back line, probably other than Vitaly Mikalenko because he was on the other side of it. You could point the finger at any of the back line for not tracking Brennan Johnson, but you could also say, well, they will have expected Jordan Pickford to have done better with that opportunity. But I actually thought he was relatively good today. Connor Cody held himself well. Again, I said it when we signed him, and I'll say it again. Nothing unbelievable, nothing special. Not a, oh my God, he's the best defender ever, 10 out of 10. But just a standard, consistent 7 out of 10. Same last week, same again this week. And I didn't think he was much of a problem. And then Mason Holgate. I'm going to give Mason a 7 as well. Now, Mason, could probably have a couple of marks taken off him for the fact that every single time he gets the ball, he tries that Hollywood lump up front, which never, ever, ever works, and yet he still seems to persist with it. Now, in Mason's defence, you could say, well, he's got no pass on, so that's the only real sort of pass he's got to make. But just judging him defensively, I thought he was good today. I thought there were a couple of times when he was maybe, it was looked like he was going to be under a little bit of pressure, and he dealt with the situation well. There was one where he chased one of their forwards, I can't remember who it was, but he chased them all the way up the end of the pitch and ended up winning the ball back, near their sort of corner flag, and putting them under some real pressure. And again, similar to last week, I thought Mason Holgate done really, really well last week. I thought his performance last week was very good, and I thought today he was solid enough as well. Again, could he have done better for the goal? Potentially, but I thought overall he put in a solid performance. And then Nathan Patterson, I'm going to give Nathan Patterson an 8. I think he was probably the best out of the defence. Again, him and Alex Iwobi were the standouts today. I said it on the instant match reaction, I'll say it again. I thought the pair of them, similar to against Aston Villa today, I thought the pair of them were very, very good. Thought they battled, thought they worked hard, thought they ran round, they done what they needed to do. Yeah, I thought they were very, very, very solid today in that Everton team, and as I said, Patterson again just looks more and more comfortable as the games go on. He looks more and more settled in. His defensively he looks more solid, positionally he looks more solid. He just looks better and better and better as the weeks go on, and again, albeit he was playing against a bad side, because let's be honest, Nottingham Forest aren't very good. I don't really care what anybody says, I don't care how it sounds. Nottingham Forest aren't particularly great. But I thought he looked really, really solid today. Into the midfield then, Alex Iwobi. Alex Iwobi's getting an 8.5. I think he was probably our man of the match, to be fair. In fact, no, I'm going to drop Nathan Patterson can get a 7.5 and Iwobi's getting an 8. I am going to mark him down a little bit because of his passing. I think there was a couple of passes that Alex Iwobi typically he's quite a accurate passer of a football. Typically he's quite when he's got the ball at his feet, he's quite accurate with it. Today there were a couple of passes that he just misplaced, he mistimed, he mishit, he misplaced. But having said that, I'm not going to sit here and look too much into it, because at the end of the day, we're talking about a lad who, again, was phenomenal in terms of his effort, his desire, his commitment, his work rate. He was constantly tracking the ball down. He was constantly winning it back. He was putting himself about. He was making a nuisance of himself. And I thought he was the best player in an Everton shirt, along, as I said, with Nathan Patterson. Thought they were the two best players in an Everton shirt by some distance today. And Alex Iwobi again showed why he's first name on the team sheet for me at the moment. You can forget your Anthony Gordons, you can forget your Codys, your Tarkowskis. Alex Iwobi is the first name on that Everton team sheet at the moment, because of that desire, because of that commitment, because of that effort. And I thought he was, again, very, very, very good today. Tom Davies next to him. I'm going to give him I'll give him 7, I'm going to give him a 7. I actually thought he done well. Now, there were a couple of chances that maybe he should have done a little bit better with. Yeah, he did have one shot that was dragged past the post in the park end, and I believe he had another chance that he maybe should have done a little bit better with, but I haven't seen the game again, I haven't seen the replay, so I'm not too sure. But I actually thought he done well today in midfield, and to be honest, I thought the game changed when the manager decided to bring him off. When the manager decided to bring him and Rondon off, now although I was happy to see Onana come on, I just thought the game changed. I thought we changed as a team. I thought we looked a little bit less structured. I thought we looked a little bit more sort of prone to errors. And ultimately, Tom, I thought, done a good job. Thought he worked hard. Thought he battled. I thought he done a good job today, Tom. Keeping the ball, winning it back, putting a tackle in, throwing himself about. I thought he made a nuisance of himself. And ultimately, yeah, I thought he done okay. And then the forward line, then Anthony Gordon, I'm going to give him a 6. I thought he worked hard. I thought he had a bit more bite about him today than what he has done in recent weeks. And maybe that's a sort of a, I know somebody's watching me, so I'm going to give a little bit extra, and I'm going to, be a little bit more sort of, keen to win the ball back, etc. Anthony Gordon was, if I could give him a rating, I'd give him Anthony Gordon today, because that's exactly what he was. He was nothing that we didn't expect. He works hard, he puts himself about, he runs round, he battles for the ball, but reality, he's got very little end product. He had a couple of shots that troubled the goalkeeper, which again, I can't really fault him for, because, all as we want these players to do is get into areas and have a shot at goal, because if you don't shoot, you won't score. But his end product was very, very minimal again today. Very, very minimal. The effort, the desire, the work rate, all of that was there, but the end product was very, very minimal again. Demarai Gray, I give him a bit of stick on the instant match reaction, because I still don't particularly think he was good enough today, but he was better than what he has been in recent weeks. I'll give him a 7.5. His goal is a good finish. It was a good run as well. It was a clever run, from a fantastic ball. It was a clever run, and it was a decent finish. It was one that you would expect. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and start talking about it for 15 minutes, because it was one that you absolutely would expect from a Premier League winger. It was one you'd expect from a winger at any level, really, to put it into the back of the net one-on-one with the goalkeeper. But having said that, it was a good finish. It was a good run. And I thought he was a little bit better today than what he has been in recent weeks. He was trying different things. Again, he was having shots, and I don't mind that. I don't mind players getting into good areas and having shots. But the reality is those three together, be it Rondon, be it McNeil, they're just not good enough. We've just got nothing going forward whatsoever. And Gray was better today, but I still don't think he was as good as he should be. But he scored the goal. He worked hard, and as I said, improvements. So, yeah. And then Rondon, I'm going to give Rondon a 6. I think what has become quite clear is that Solomon Rondon isn't good enough, but at the moment we can't play without Solomon Rondon. He put himself about. He done a lot whilst not doing much, Solomon Rondon, I thought, today, in terms of he put himself about, he worked hard, he caused problems for the defence. He brought people into the game. He was offside 800 times, which is baffling, but he brought people into the game. He was chesting it down well. He was heading it down well. He offered nothing in terms of being a goal-scoring striker. He had one shot that he flashed past the post, but the moment he was taken off, we had to change the dynamic, and again, we had to go with those front three as our front three, and there's just not enough in there. And don't get me wrong, there was not enough in there from Rondon in terms of being a goal-scorer, but he was bringing people into the game with his ability to take the ball down and his ability to use his strength to hold off defenders. So, there you go. Look, he's not good enough, and we need a striker, and if we haven't got a striker by next week, then I don't even think I'll bother watching, to be honest with you, because we're simply not in a position to not be able to sign a striker before Wednesday. I'll be fucking furious if we haven't signed a striker before Wednesday, if I'm being honest with you. But, there you go. On to the subs then. Onana, I'll give him a 5. I spoke about him in the instant match reaction, and some people were saying, it's far too early to be writing him off. I'm not writing him off. He just wasn't very good when he come on. He got the ball caught underneath his feet. He picked himself up a yellow card almost instantly with a challenge. On another day, he'd have probably been sent off for the challenge 2 minutes later in terms of bringing a player down. And then other than that, I think, as I said in the instant match reaction, I think as soon as he got the yellow card, he realised that he wasn't going to be able to use his strength. He wasn't going to be able to use his physicality. He wasn't going to be able to use his build, because the minute he was going to go near any Nottingham Forest player, they were going to throw themselves on the floor. And Anze Mariner is that bad of a referee. He would have sent him off if that would have been the case. So I think he sort of nullified his own performance by getting that yellow card so early on. But he put himself about, and listen, he's a young lad. It was only his second Premier League game, obviously first at Goodison. He'll take a lot of time to settle in. He'll take a lot of time to understand that he hasn't got 20 minutes on the ball when he wins it. He'll take a lot of time to understand that he can't just go flying in with challenges. But it's very early days. Obviously, we shouldn't be anywhere near writing him off, but he wasn't particularly impactful when he come on. And then Dwight McNeil's getting a 4. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. Again, I think what was evidently clear with Dwight McNeil today is he's not very quick. He's not very quick whatsoever. And when you're bringing him on, and with 20 odd minutes to go to try and win a game, and he's not got the pace to outpace defenders, that's when you've got a problem. Don't get me wrong, I think he could have a future at Everton, but it's not as an impactful sub who's going to run at players because he just hasn't got the pace to do that. It's as simple as that. He has not got the pace to do that. But there you go. They are the player ratings. Everton 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Not good enough for me today. Not good enough for me. We need to be better. They weren't particularly great. We weren't particularly great. But it's worrying. It's worrying because I look and I think, where's the 3 points coming from? Where's the win coming from? But there you go. If you have enjoyed this one, please do hit that like button. Don't forget to check out the instant match reaction if you haven't already. Big thanks to everybody for joining us in the live comments. If you're watching a YouTube video, leave your comments down below and we'll get involved with as many of them as we can. But massive thank you all for watching, and we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.